My guest for today is Peekay, the heavy metal alias of Hyderabad born and LA based musician, artist, and entrepreneur Pranati Khanna. Pairing crushing and melodic heavy metal and soaring vocals with cinematic visuals and concepts, PK's music is the culmination of a lifetime of art, activism, and entrepreneurship, paired with the conflicting emotions that can come from being the child of a pastor in a devoted Christian family. PK's journey has had some very interesting stops so far, some of which include collaborating with American musicians, creating her own marketing agency, and managing a speakeasy that was an inclusive space for the LGBTQ community. Now, with the release of her latest single, Hyperspace, I sat down with PK to talk about a whole host of topics that include her music, the very interesting non metal origins of PK, her various entrepreneurial ventures, being a heavy metal kid in a Christian family, and so much more. And if you like this conversation, then please like and share this video, comment below with your thoughts, and subscribe to this channel for more cool conversations such as these. So, without further ado, here's me with PK. PK, thank you so much for being on the show. I've really been looking forward to talking to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Yeah, how was it in sunny LA?
Very sunny. It's summer now, so it's been nice and hot. And yesterday was 4th of July, so we got to chill by a pool, which was good fun. Beat
Yep.
the heat.
Any
Yeah.
barbecue or fireworks?
Fireworks were a lot less this year, but yeah, there was a barbecue and good food. But I think everyone in LA is kind of taking the over celebration a little bit. They've toned it down this year, so
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I've got to tell you, when it comes to guests on this podcast, you have been on my mind for quite some time because not only did I see you performing at Bandland, but I saw you performing at Bangalore Open Air as well. And your music and your stage presence is something really exciting in the Indian scene. And ever since then, I've really been looking forward to talking to you.
Thank you so much for saying that. That's really kind.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get things started with your brand new release, which is Hyperspace, kick-ass
Mhm.
song, even more kick-ass music video. So
Thank
tell everyone here, how did the song come about? What place did it come from?
it's funny because Eddie and I, the way we work is I write like a really simple song and he takes it and he makes it into the monster that it turns out to be eventually. So actually, at the time, I had just moved out of my own place, moved back in with my parents before I moved to LA, and would sit with at the dining table with my sound card, my guitar, and I have a Splice log like what do you call it, subscription. So I would build this song on Logic and just like make a very simple this thing. And the subject matter was the conversation was largely around like the grass is greener on the other side. And I was constantly thinking about how life might be when I make this big move to California and all of that. And I actually, when I was researching life over here and I was looking at life in India, I was like, it's going to be hard because everyone has the same kinds of problems. We all think that things are better on the other side. They're really not. Um, and my mother is a pastor of a church. So it was Sunday service on the day that I was writing Hyperspace. And I just come in from service, and the sermon that Sunday was showing about showing gratitude for where you are, but also feeling empathy towards other people's problems and not trying to kind of dismiss them in any way. And Hyperspace then also was the conversation at the service was about addiction. And there was certain people in the congregation who were like, I have struggled with porn addiction, or I have struggled with dating properly because of uh, the mass media sexualizing, hypersexualizing women. And so I can't see women further than being objects, or like things like that. It was a very intense conversation. And I was like, the internet is literally ruining our lives. And while it's selling you a good idea of sunny California, uh, the reality is that there are people with broken lives over here. And there are people with broken lives in India. India has also got its own good and bad. But really, the only thing that's ruining our lives is the overstimulation that we get from the internet, the overburdening of information constantly with the news, with everything. It's like the only better other side at this point is get me out of here. Like, I want to get out of here. I just want to, I would like to see what's at the other end of this lifetime at this point. So, yeah, that's where hyperspace came from.
Okay, okay. I mean, when I listened to the song and I looked at the video, I could tell the
Yeah.
themes of addiction and isolation. But it's very
Yeah.
interesting that you mention faith as well, and that, your mother is a pastor, and your story you just told me now about the Sunday service. And
Yeah.
I also follow your Instagram quite a lot as well. And from your recent posts and the story you shared from Brian Head Welch of Con, it got me
Yeah.
thinking, like, how much has faith influenced your music, or how much has it played a role in your music?
I think faith or my faith is the central point, my kickoff point for everything I do with my music because my entire dialogue as a PK, which is a pastor's kid or just Pranati Khanna, is also the struggle that all of us deal with, where people say you can pray about it, and but then there are so many kids that have grown up in church that hate their faith. We know that Christianity as a religion has divided an entire, like, caused divisions and like mass. But like at the center of it, the actual point of faith is sit down and pray and have like a direct connection with you and your maker and your creator. And when I sit down and I create my art or my music, I just want to send the message out there that yes, your reality is this. Life sucks sometimes. It's hard. But when I, being a Christian, the things that we learn in the Bible is that Jesus lived the very same life. He came down and everything sucked. His life sucked. He had no money. He had nothing. And he went through this life, overcame it, and he's on the other side. And so that's the promise that all of us live with is like, it's going to get better. Just get through this. Well, while you're getting through this, be good to each other. So definitely scream about it, shout about it, talk about the problems that are women's rights, women getting abused, domestic violence, injustice towards children, pedophilia, whether it's in religious institutions or otherwise. Um, it's a dark, horrible world, broken hearts everywhere. But music for me, the central point, faith plays a huge part in it because I always, in every song, remind myself in some way that it is going to get better if I just stay faithful, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Definitely. I can definitely understand. So, again, I'm a little curious. How did your family and your community initially react when they found out that you were playing heavy metal music?
They were very they thought it was really cool. My parents are really cool. Okay, like they when I started doing this, I remember my mom saying, she calls them growls. She's like, your growls are really good. And I was like, oh, thank you, because I practice at home. My dad would be like, what are you doing? But also, good job. And my entire community, because I went from R&B to pop to rock to now heavy metal, they were like, interesting to see your journey because you've always existed in the metal field, more like supported it with your art or photography or whatever. Now you're in it. Great to see you here. But it was mixed reactions from everywhere. But I think once my parents, specifically my mother, discovered that there's a lot of Christian metal out there, that she started to explore actually, and she started to discover and she was interested in it because she also really loves rock music herself. She was like, I think it's really cool that you're doing this because I feel like you exist in a community that has a lot of sad and hurt people in it, and maybe you could just be in there and kind of be there for your community in some way.
Yeah, and if you really think about it, a lot of like religious texts are like metal as hell when you like really look
Yeah,
into them. Like for example, the
yeah,
Old Testament Bible,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a whole lot of stuff that would be perfectly suited for a metal song.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So what was the biggest challenge while filming the music video? Any interesting stories?
Yeah, actually, I had just come back from we finished BOA, and then we had played Kula Festival in Mumbai. I had just come back from Kula, and I landed, drove straight to Eddie's jam room. The crew was already there setting up. I was exhausted out of my mind, but the challenge was in just jumping straight into the shoot, and I was leaving back for LA the next day. So we had one day to shoot that whole thing. We got there, we started 9 a.m., 9 to 9 p.m. We just shot that whole music video somehow. And the second challenge was Eddie just had a baby. So his jam room is right across from his apartment. So we were going between the apartment and the jam room. And his wife, Quincy, she's amazing. She was like, we would have to walk into the apartment to shoot the indoor scenes because the baby was sleeping. We had to be like super quiet and like put down equipment really quietly and like listen to the song really quietly. So those were like the challenges, like A, finishing everything in one day, and B, baby's gotta sleep, be quiet. So yeah.
I'd like to think that Eddie's baby heard a little bit of your music during the shoot and that seed has been planted. So
Oh, it's
you
been
never
planned.
know.
Eddie's doing a great job with educating Nova, his baby, or with the best heavy metal. Nova's listened to all our music by this point a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fascinating. So rewinding back now, I'd like to know what were the origins of PK? How did PK start as a project?
So Eddie and I, as you know, we've been together in different projects. The previous one being a band that was first called the Ragamuffins and then was Spellcheck. And we put out an EP. We were a five-piece band. We were doing well, but then the band kind of split up over the course of the pandemic. And during the pandemic, I had started listening to a lot of different kinds of music. And Eddie and I were like, let's pick up the two of us that are left. Let's just keep making music. So I started writing R&B and pop and all that we eventually played live. And we called it PK because all of the music was my dialogue as a woman. And at the time, I started writing songs that were very women centric about the struggles of being a modern Indian woman, dealing with, relationships, living in society in the way that we are, we're, very different from our parents' generation, grandparents' generation. So he said, if this is your dialogue, it's totally fine. Let's just call this, because everyone started calling me PK by that point, it was Pranati Khanna. And I took it in a second way of, I would like this to be the dialogue of not just a modern Indian woman, but a modern Indian woman who's a pastor's kid. Because there's a whole different dialogue from there where I'm talking about like how all of us are actually struggling with, in a large sense, whether you want to talk about it or not, we're struggling with our faith. Whether it's keep where I've lost faith in humanity, I've lost faith in God, or I've lost faith in this, or I've refound my faith in this, I've lost faith in myself. So I would actually use a lot of subject matter from the Bible and from my mother's sermons specifically to kind of like push out music and make them very topic related, subject matter being about being a PK, just a woman,
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
me. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it came to be.
Okay, okay. And I've got to say, while I was doing my research on you, first of all, the movie PK kept coming up all the
Yeah,
time.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen this as well. Amir Khan is like
Yes.
stealing airspace
He's
from you.
he has. Yep.
Yeah. And secondly, uh, okay,
Yeah.
so when I initially looked at your YouTube channel and your social media, your material, your metal material was dating back to like, 2023 or so around the time of the
Yeah.
Starlight EP.
Yeah.
But as I dug deeper, I
Mm.
see all of these like all of this press and all of these short videos and clips of all of these pop and R&B songs,
Yeah.
but I can't find it
Yeah.
anywhere on streaming. Like,
Yeah.
am I going mad? What is going on here? Like, where has that entire pop R&B side of PK gone?
I decided once I rebranded this whole thing, I was like, you know what? I'm actually done with this. I feel like the pop R&B stuff was something I had to just get out of my system
Hmm.
because as an artist, you're going to always paint your canvas in whatever way that seems most relevant at the time. Sometimes you'll paint red, sometimes you'll paint blue. At the time I put out that R&B music, I was very heartbroken. I had gone through a lot of just awful stuff, and I felt like the best way to do justice to that narrative was this genre of music. And once I got all of that out of my system, cried about it, wrote those songs, it was done. I closed that door, I closed that chapter, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to do what I'm here to do, which is to continue singing in the genre that is natural to me, which is rock or metal or whatever. So I took the music off. I was like, I have got it out of my system. I don't want to listen to the song ever again. I don't want it to exist ever again. So yeah.
Okay. I understand that. And there is something to be said about when artists completely change their sound, like, at least
Yeah.
keeping the old sound and the old music as like in your catalog as a sort of historical record. And,
Yeah.
to be very frank, I think your singing was a lot more varied in those pop R&B songs. I could really tell the
Mhm.
jazz side of your
Yeah.
voice, whereas you have
Yeah.
chosen a particular style for the rock and metal sound. The style
Yeah.
in your pop and R&B sound sounds very interesting to me as
Yeah.
well. So was it
Yeah.
like, was it that it would have been too painful for you to like keep all those songs and keep that side of your music open? Like, did you want to like completely move away from it? Like, was that the case that you couldn't keep it around anymore, even if that's not the style you're playing anymore? Did it come from that emotion?
I think it was a bit of that, but mostly and interestingly, the decision that I made to step away from the pop or R&B side scene was I didn't fit in with the culture around it. Like I remember all the festivals that we would go and play at or whatever. Like there was just something, and I don't mean to say this in a rude way to any effect, but there's something a little pretentious about it. It's like, yeah, it just wasn't me. The culture, everything surrounding those genres, being an indie pop or indie R&B musician, there was something I just didn't fit in. I remember sitting backstage at Echoes of Earth and just looking around me and saying, I wish I was at a metal festival right now because all my friends would be like, I don't know what to do. And all of us just packed up and like we went back to my friend's place and we hung out and we put on some metal music at home and had dinner. So I never really fit in with it, with the scene, that
Uh,
scene.
I understand that because, I have been in that place where you've just told me. Like, I started out with
Yeah.
metal. I've been to like all the metal shows you can imagine. But when I started to like get into like more of the indie music scene, like indie rock, indie
Hmm.
pop or whatever, like
Yeah.
it kind of feels like the audience there is kind of like too cool for school. They are like very,
Yeah.
like standoffish. They're not really engaging with the band like how a rock fan or a metal fan would be used to. And they make sure
Yeah.
they've got all of their fancy clothes and, looking
Mm.
cool for the gram and all of that.
Mm.
So, I mean,
Mm-mm.
that's their deal. Again, it's not
Sure.
up to us to judge. Everyone has their
Yeah.
own entertainment experience. But like you
Yeah.
said, yeah, there is I do understand what you were talking about over there. But
Mm.
I'm just saying, like, if you ever feel the need to show like everything you are capable of, I think those
Yeah.
songs would stand to see the light again, because they were very interesting. And the videos also were really well made, by the way.
I love You Don't Have to. That's why I think I left You Don't Have to on YouTube. I don't think it's on a streaming platform, but it's on YouTube because I love that song so much. And the music video, which was completely just me having fun with my creativity. So I left that one up. Um, but you're absolutely right. I think as we go on and make more albums, I think I'd love to get out my jazz side a bit more, maybe do like a slow song on as well. And
Mm.
I have like, if you in Merciless, for example, like there's this little section where it's just me singing like Miss the Way You Break Me. And I wanted to like put my little Pranati jazz voice in there for a bit and then go back into the thing. But yeah, I'd love to explore the jazz R&B side again for sure.
Lovely, lovely. So, uh, one thing I'm curious about, you are from Hyderabad, and
Mm.
I haven't really been to Hyderabad much. I haven't seen much, like I haven't seen live music in Hyderabad at all. I mean, I've just not been there very often. So I'm just
Yeah.
curious, how was the Hyderabad music scene while you were starting out, and how has it changed now?
That's such a good question. It's interesting because we've been in the music scene since we were literally babies because my parents were big supporters of the indie music scene from their time. So their
Wow.
friends, yeah, so like their friends were musicians, they were in bands. Um, like there are a bunch of bands that are now no longer like active, but all of their friends would be in cover bands and rock bands and stuff like that. So the scene was actually like quite active because there were a couple of venues that would always need a live English band at the time. And as we were growing up, it was really good. We had a really good phase for metal when, Script and all of that, when Godless started, for example. And there were a bunch of other really, really good bands. Um, and we were having festivals, and there were venues that were constantly asking for bands to, this thing. We started our own festival IP called Mad Parrot. That also became a thing. As time went on, and I think, right after pandemic, I think everyone had to recover all that money that they were losing, that they'd lost, that they went into full commercial. Like right now, you can't go to a brewery in Hyderabad without listening to some regional music, which is awesome. I love that we're encouraging our music, our Tollywood music, our language, all of that stuff. But it's just different because there's not a lot of English music that you can find on a night out except at like EXT or Moonshine. Love those guys. Biggest supporters of the scene. Or some brewery here or some other venue there, or some fancier restaurant that might have jazz for brunch or that I would sing at. But it's so different now. Like Tollywood has taken over the scene. Indie English music is not as big as it used to be, even like 5, 6 years ago, I would say.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have heard of EXT and Moonshine as well, and I hope
Yeah.
they keep trying to give independent artists a chance. And
Yeah.
I hope things rebound from the pandemic era, because I completely
Yeah.
understand. You've got to like make your
Yeah.
living back somehow, you know.
Exactly.
And yeah, so again, from my research on you, as I look through everything you've done, there's like a laundry list of fascinating achievements that you have under your belt. You started your own agency called The Whole Shebang. You were
Yes.
a partner in a speakeasy called Giggle Water, if I'm not
Yes.
wrong, which you
Yeah.
also made into an inclusive venue for the LGBTQ plus community, which is wonderful. The more spaces for that community, the better. And so were you doing this all at the same time? And if so, how were you able to balance all those roles? Because let me tell you, like I have a hard enough time balancing my job with like this one podcast, but like keeping multiple plates in the air, like it just exhausts me thinking about it. So how did you balance all those roles?
I love that question, and thank you, by the way, for doing that research on me. And I think that all my friends, my family, by the way, sorry about the cat.
No, no,
Uh,
bring in one more cat.
bring the
Maybe that will break the
cat.
algorithm and we will get thousands of views with that.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I think at the time, my friends and family were telling me to slow down because juggling everything was very difficult, and I started to fall sick a lot.
Hmm.
And so it took a toll on my health, took a toll on my relationships, even because I never had any time for those.
Hmm.
So life went out of the window because I was like Friday night, jazz night, every night of the week, make sure Giggle Water is doing awesome. During the day, the whole shebang is running. During the weekends, Giggle Water. Write my music in my spare time before bed or first thing in the morning, do my vocal lessons. Or it was a packed schedule, and I would not recommend it to anybody. I'm grateful I could do it, but like never again.
Yeah, there's a greater chance for burnout with that sort of schedule.
Yeah,
Like it takes a lot of like time management, but you
yeah,
know, you think you can keep enduring as long as you manage your time well. But even when you manage your
Yeah.
time as best as you can, it just kind of exhausts you, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly. I'm gonna get this guy up here. Sorry. Here, why are you crying? Huh. Here's, you can say hi to Ollie.
Hi.
Name Ollie. Huh. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally get it. It can totally exhaust you, like even when you manage your time to the best of your ability. Going off from talking about all those experiences,
Hmm.
which, while you were doing all that stuff, which gave you more headaches, the marketing industry or the food and beverage industry?
Oh, I think the marketing industry, dealing with clients, and anyone would know this, it's the worst. Oh my God, I can't do it.
I'm getting flashbacks to my first marketing job. Go, 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 go.
Really? You also
Yes.
had one? Oh
Yes,
God.
yes, yes. My first job right out of
Yeah.
college was with this wonderful agency called Pink Lemonade. Tina Garg, shout
Oh
out to
wow.
you if you're watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I totally get it. I vividly remember, like, meetings and town halls where, like, the first, like, let's say 10 minutes would be spent talking about how clients are lacking. Like, we are expecting this payment from this client. The client's feedback
Oh.
is being delayed and all of that. But
Hmm.
yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it.
PTSD. Yeah.
Okay, so getting back to your music, uh, how did you get your collab with Steve Knight of Flipside for the song Running?
So fluke. I think Flipside had been playing a few festivals, Zero in particular, I think in Arunachal Pradesh. And there's this one photographer um who was shooting um Flipside at that festival. And you should follow him on Instagram. He's amazing. Colorblind Man is his Instagram handle. And he spoke to Steve. Steve said, I'm looking for an Indian rock female singer to do a collab with, because he was trying to get into the Indian market because he saw that it was, so cool. And so then he spoke to my manager, Karan. Karan told me, and we just made it happen.
Mm.
So, yeah, it was completely by chance. And then once him and I got in touch with each other, we became really good friends, and that song just happened really effortlessly.
Fascinating, fascinating. So going on to one of your other songs, which is Horizons.
Yeah.
When we talk about music video shoots, like, I can imagine the amount of logistics that were going in that music video. Because for those of you who haven't seen it, let me specify what and all is there. You are in a jungle, you
Yeah.
are having weapons, you are chasing
Yeah.
after some guy that shot the guy in the video. There is like a bicycle on fire, and like shooting, fire, and the whole kit and caboodle. So, like,
Yeah.
tell me, so tell me, like, how the hell you manage to, like, plan and get together all of that? Because speaking as someone who has been part of some music video shoots, even the
Yeah.
simplest ones can be a bitch to manage. So how did you get
Yes.
all of that together for Horizons?
Okay, so I had a meeting with a family friend's son who's also an aspiring filmmaker, Karan Marwa, and he said, I'm looking to do a music video. Like, I just want to do some, I want to play,
Hmm.
and I want to add to my portfolio. So I was like, let's do it. And so he came up with this extravagant idea. And my question was much the same as yours. I was like, how are we going to do all of this? So he's like, you leave it to me. I have all the people. I'll make it happen. Just get a little bit of a budget together, and I'll tell you what I need from you. So I got a few, makeup and hair and makeup. One of my best friends, she does hair and makeup for all of my shoots. Apuma, another girl who helped with the extra crew, got pulled in this, that, the other from everywhere. Karan did the rest of it. And it just happened. It just kind of came together. He found this location in Hyderabad, which is actually a haunted property.
Oh.
And so this is interesting because the property that we were on, the government, I think, has cordoned off a section of it, or like the house was cordoned off for a while because of paranormal activity. And then since then, the property was sold several times, and I think it eventually kind of ironed itself out. But the story about that place is that there was a woman and her daughters that had moved from somewhere into this particular mansion that we shot on the land. We shot on the land, not the mansion. And she practiced witchcraft. And she'd done all of this, some kind of witchcraft. I don't know, she'd done like some black magic ceremony with these daughters. And the neighbors would keep complaining about all the noise. And because she would walk around the house and do all of this creepy stuff. And they kept complaining that their garbage was smelling or something was smelling. And the night but one night they heard like the same chanting and all of that. Next morning, somebody came to check because there was a crazy smell, and they found that they were all dead. And but the coroner said that they'd been dead for a week, but the neighbors had seen them just the night before. So
Oh, damn.
there was like this. You should read about this. I'll send you a link, but
Yeah, sure,
uh,
sure.
yeah, basically it was like a crazy story. So like Karan, when he had access through a friend of his to the land
Mhm.
around it, he's like, dude, we have to shoot over here. So we were walking around being like, oh, I feel like a ghostly presence here or over there. I don't want to shoot here. Let's do there. So it was creepy, but yeah, it happened.
Wow.
Went
Just imagine if there was like an actual ghost in your footage.
I'm sure if we like slowed down something or did something, we would find something just walking by like that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be sure to watch the video again. And if there are any
Yeah.
amateur ghost hunters watching, have a look at the PK music video for Horizons and share it
Yeah.
around with the other ghost hunters also. Every view and click matters, even if it is from ghost hunters.
Yes, please, ghost hunters, go and watch Horizon.
Okay. Okay. So moving on to your two major performances before your move back to LA, which is Bangalore Open Air and Bandland. I'm sure it was a great experience. And, from what I saw, the crowds were really vibing as well. But you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong here. My memory may be a little fuzzy on this, but before you got those bookings, I remember seeing some chatter online about, uh, bands were like metal bands with women in them not getting a fair break at those festivals. Those bands including you as well. So what was going on over there? Just illuminate me a bit on that.
I think, you know what, it's so like crazy that you asking that because I was just talking about this with some of my bandmates from here the other day, where I was saying women in metal is not like a common thing in India. A and B, representation also, like forget about that. The funny thing is when they announced PK to be on the Bangalore Open Air lineup, you go to the comments, you'll see like just the number of haters and just be like, who is she? Or what is that? Or I'm looking forward to seeing Amir Khan, or just something really dumb. And it's like, and the funny one is that it was women, not just guys, it was also women in the comment section commenting on a woman in metal being on that stage. And so I was like, girls, you're supposed to be supporting each other. Like, what's wrong with you right now? And the guys I can understand because like diehard metal fans, and if honestly, like the Bangalore Open Air lineup this year was way more progressive than it's usually like old school thrashier sound, right? Like the typical you got patches on your jacket crowd. Which is awesome. That's what everyone goes there for. Is like I want to feel like this is an authentic experience. But what Salman was saying is metal has progressed and moved on. You guys are still stuck back there. That's on you. Why don't you come and see what else is happening out there? The world is moving forward. We are all still stuck in the 80s or the 70s or whatever. So him putting me on us on that stage, and I thank him for that, was almost like just to say, please know that there is also this that exists and could use your support. You might like it. Give it a chance. And it went off really well. But the conversation before that was very much there's no representation for women, no representation for modern metal in India. And metal has to just start moving forward. Like we've got to get with the times. So I think with Bandland and BOA and the organizers kind of making that happen, And even people like Bloodywood coming into the mainstream and stuff like that. It's very cool. I just love that there's so much going on right now.
Bloodywood just performed at Madison Square Garden. How
Yeah,
huge is that? If you had told me like
yeah,
even like 5 years ago that a metal band from India would be playing at Madison Square Garden, I would be like, what the nah, I don't believe
yeah,
you. But it has actually happened,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That
shout out to
shout out to
Bloodywood.
Bloodywood, paving the way for everyone and just doing so amazingly yourselves. Like, hats
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, and for people who don't know, the point of festivals is to like partially to introduce you to artists that you may like.
Yeah,
It is a marketing apparatus, like partially when you look at it. So the excuse that, oh, who is this? Like, I haven't heard of this band
yeah.
before. Like, yeah, you will hear about it
You
if you
will hear them.
come to
Yeah,
the show. Otherwise,
come
like,
to the show.
how are new bands like supposed to establish a presence if you only care about like the same old guys, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah, and also like this is something that I've covered on my Instagram as well. Like after the latest edition of Bangalore Open Air happened, the edition with
Hmm.
you guys in it, Salman
Hmm.
said that it has been the most profitable edition of Bangalore Open Air till date.
Yeah,
And I can say, as someone who was actually there, that it was really cool to like see like younger kids and alternative kids as well. And
yeah,
I think I even saw like one of the vendors was like a sex toy vendor. So like that was like
yeah,
pretty wild, you know.
yeah.
So when you have like every genre of music, every subculture needs that young blood.
Mm-hmm.
If it stops courting the young, then it
Mm.
will functionally die in a matter of years. So I really hope that people learn from that edition.
I agree. Could not agree more. Yeah.
Yeah. So, next. So, as everyone probably knows, it is not easy by any means to be an independent artist in India or anywhere else in the world. But what keeps you going when things are at their most difficult?
Faith. Honestly, like I said the other day, like, honestly, I pray about everything all the time. Like,
Mm,
the second I start to feel like, oh my God, I don't know where this is going. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next.
mm,
It's just that gets me through to the next part. And having a really strong community and support system. So like on my down days, on my bad days, it's always like my friends, my family, either now they're on the phone or like my friends here in LA. We'll just go out for a meal or we'll just like sit and talk, or I go for a gig, or like I have another conversation with another musician who's going through the same thing. And just knowing that you're not alone in the feeling stuck or the difficult place is nice. It's a sense of belonging to everybody else. Everyone's going through the same thing. But yeah, I think otherwise it's just prayer that gets me through the day.
mm. Okay. Okay. So, next, what is the key to a good growl or vocal fry? The technique.
To make sure that it's coming from your diaphragm, from here, and not from your, like, this is just the airway, this is the passage. You should not be like screaming like you're screaming at somebody, like, hey. You have to like do it with your air, like literally, like breathe out and like make sure that it's coming from here and not
Mm,
from here. Don't ruin your throat. Don't destroy your voice, basically.
mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And getting back to the presence of women in metal,
Hmm.
I really hope it keeps improving. I see more, not only more female artists, but also more artists from the LGBTQ plus community as well. For those who don't know, there's this really cool band called Exit Wound from Pune,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong. So really cool bunch of folks. Check them out. So like before you move to LA, did you see things getting better for women in the metal scene? But like, what is the current situation now?
I did. And Kula, God, if I can't remember the name of the band, I'll tell you what it is. There was this beautiful band. They were from Shillong,
Hmm.
and a female fronted band, and she had the her whole authentic get up. And I think that from there till Wild, now they're not metal. Pratika, of course, used to be in metal, but Wild Women, I think they call Wild Women. And
Okay, I'm sorry to stop you right there because I think she'll take
huh,
offense to it. She still is. She
she
still
still is
is.
in metal.
She still she
Okay, okay,
still
so
is. She still is because I she has specifically told me and a couple of
huh,
friends this in our little WhatsApp group like ever since
huh.
Wild Women came out, like people are telling like, hey, why have you left metal, yaar? She's like, what the fuck? Like I'm still in it. So let's be
Okay.
clear. Pratika is still in metal.
Pratika is
Pratika,
still in.
yes, don't come after us, please.
Love you, Pratika. She's the
Sorry,
biggest.
sorry. Continue.
She's the baddest. I've always, and I've been like seeing Pratika at like festivals and all since I was 18, 19 years old. So like literally till now, I feel like I've just watched her and her journey. That's inspiring to me as well. And Long Distance is also another rock band. There are lots of good rock and metal bands, and I think the women are slowly
Mhm.
just like they're stepping forward. Komodo Jane.
Yes, I've been trying to
Yeah,
get them on the pod as well. Really cool band.
yeah, they're so cool. So I think since the last couple of years, at least slowly, everyone's like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be out there, and I love that.
Mhm.
So just keep
Mhm.
coming, girls. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, and I think another thing that has to change is the treatment of women at shows as well, because
Yeah.
unfortunately we've been seeing like Instagram posts about like creeps in the scene and all of that. So I think that is also something that could stand to improve. If we improve things for women at the fan level, then
Yeah.
more of them will come to shows and more of them will be inspired to be artists as well. So,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
so like, did you experience anything like that in the Hyderabad scene where you had to look out for each other? Like, were there any bad incidents?
Never at a like a indie gig. I've never, thank God, not had any creeps come my
Mm,
way. But it's always been at the commercial gigs, like the jazz stuff that you're singing at a hotel or at a bar or whatever. There the creepy uncles come. They come at you and they'll just come, they'll be drunk and they'll be like, you're so
mm,
beautiful, or just whatever, like just
mm.
some. And then the one time that I got really worried was when this drunk uncle followed me to my car.
Oh shit.
And yeah, then I had to like call. I was playing with George Hull at the time. Was it George Hull? No, this was back then. I was playing with Joel Sastry, and he wasn't even there. I think I was alone. And basically, whoever I was trying to call wasn't picking up the phone. So I just like jumped in my car and just like left really quickly.
Mm.
Um, but otherwise, like you'll have fanboys, fangirls coming at you. But somebody asked me to spit in their hand once. That was strange.
What?
Yeah. That was very strange. And otherwise, it's nothing. They'll just come, but what will they do? I'm constantly surrounded with the boys. They're always like Eddie is always there, Clint, Rex, everyone's always with me. So,
Mm.
thank God I have not had. But I've seen my friends. I've had my friends with their drinks getting spiked. I've seen my friends getting taken advantage of when they're drunk by like other people in the crowd who are just feeling them up. It's bad. It's yeah. I've seen it just be really disgusting, men just being disgusting, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's really sad to hear. But I think
Yeah,
I think things are changing for the better. We have seen, like more people rising up whenever something like that happens, and I can also attest to seeing that kind of action in my own community as well, like the groups I'm part of. So I'm really
yeah.
thankful to see that, and hopefully we will see more improvement in the future.
I'm sure. I think the awareness is so strong right now that everybody is like on their guard about it, and like behavior is getting is improving. Security also, I feel like, is a lot more at recently at like all the shows than I think I've ever seen before, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that can come depending on the clubs that you perform at. So yeah,
yeah.
I get what you're talking about. Yeah. So what is next for PK? What is the LA arc of PK going to start with? What can we expect in the future?
Well, the very next thing, which is more India, but is we're putting out the album that Hyperspace is from. next month or month after next. But for me in LA, I also sing with a band here called Fracas, and we are launching in the end of the year. But for PK, I am launching the PK version of the live band. So I have like my new bandmates that I'm playing with here, and we're playing at the Whiskey on August 23rd, opening for Spine Shank, if anyone knows that band.
Oh.
And yeah. So that's going to be next. So now that the music's going to be out there, I'm taking the PK LA chapter live from August and just take it from there and keep going. And I also have another project that I'm with over here, which is more on the experimental R&B side, by the way. Not
Oh,
R&B,
okay.
pop. Indie,
Hmm.
it's more indie pop, synthy. It's called Twin Maps that
Hmm.
my friend Tyler and I have. And so that's also going live. We're playing a Breaking Sound show at the end of the month. So lots of live music, lots of projects going live.
Hmm.
So it's exciting. It's an exciting end of the year stuff, next half of the year, rather.
Fantastic, fantastic. Happy to hear it. So,
Yeah.
before we conclude this podcast, I'd like to play a little game with you called Quick Q&A. I'm going to give you
Okay.
a couple of quick questions and you give me some quick answers. All right?
Okay.
Okay, great. Number one, when and where was your very first PK gig?
I think Giggle Water.
Oh, okay. Like when?
Yeah. 2022 or
Oh,
three? Yeah.
mm.
Two. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Best and worst song from your catalog?
Best, Hyperspace.
Mm.
Uh, Worst, don't know, which is not online anymore. It's called a
Ah,
song called Do You Wanna Know? Don't know. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Most underrated song from your catalog?
Most underrated would be Starlight.
Okay. If you had to pick one song with which to introduce someone to PK for the very first time, which song would you pick?
Merciless.
Oh, fantastic choice. Fantastic choice. One PK pop song that you could convert into metal.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
so you think that would work really well if you reconstructed it as a metal song.
Hell yeah.
Okay, okay. Best concert fit, best outfit you've had at a live show.
The one that I wore, I would think, for Bangalore Open Air, the white dress.
Oh, okay. I'm a bit partial to the outfit you wore at Bandland actually. I
I
think you
actually
look,
like that one too.
yeah, I think you look
Yeah.
really cool in that. I mean, and that also invites all the spirit box comparisons that I'm sure you've been getting all the time.
Yes, I keep getting spirit box comparisons. Yeah.
Okay, okay. If you had to pick a TV show or movie to feature your music in, which TV show or movie would you pick?
Breaking Bad. Not that it's around anymore, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I've heard so many Breaking Bad answers from all the artists I've interviewed before. So,
I'm obsessed. I was like, oh my God, I want to put my music in there. Or Peaky Blinders.
oh, that'd be really cool also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Your inspirations as a musician, the artists that inspire you.
Keeps changing, but right now I would say architects, Spirit Box, of course, um, Leon Bridges, um, Forever Billie Holiday, and Bad Omens.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. If you could meet one of your influences and thank them personally, which person would
Yeah.
that be?
Noah Sebastian from Bad Omens.
Ah, fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
First rock song you ever heard.
My God, I would have been an infant, but I think it was Come Together by the Beatles.
Okay. Good choice. Classic choice. First
Yeah.
metal song you ever heard.
Uh, I think it was Before I Forget, Slipknot.
Oh, that is such a cool choice, and I love the video for that as well because it was,
Yeah.
yeah, because it was made at a point of time where like before Slipknot like revealed their faces. So if you remember, the
Yeah.
entire gimmick of that video was like everything being out of focus, but you could only see the mask.
Yes.
So it was kind of like, oh,
Yes.
you're seeing them without their mask, but you can't see their faces. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. First band or artist t-shirt you ever owned?
I think Opeth.
Oh, okay. Which particular album?
I think it was Damnation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Best music marketing insight that you can offer to someone?
Music marketing insight. Wow, that's such a really good question. I I think that if you find your audience, just continue to create content for that audience, and that little audience will kind of just like expand. So make as many reels as you can. Talk about
Oh.
your process. Talk about yourself. Be authentic.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree with the part about the reels as well, because it really feels like
Yeah.
with this particular podcast, I've been getting most of my traction from reels. And
Yeah.
that is how people notice the podcast as well. So I really do agree on the reels bit. But I mean, just exploring that particular insight a little bit. I mean, does it does it affect you when it feels like you are producing more content than music? Like, does it ever get to you, or is it all part of the same creative process and you are okay with it? Because I can tell you from like conversations that like some musicians like hate making all the Instagrammable content that
Oh, yeah.
spreads the message about their music, and they really like just want to stick to making music and hope that their audience reaches more people. But does
Yeah.
making the content bit to support music like get to you sometimes?
Definitely. In fact, I think I used to do it way more, and because the manager that I had when I started PK, like she was very particular and that we focused on the creating content side of it, and I hated doing it. It seemed so like gimmicky and just kind of fake.
Mm,
Like here's my workout routine, and I was just like, oh. So I
mm,
stopped doing that once I, just kind of went and started doing my own thing. And I don't focus on it too much. But even when I have to do it, when we're doing like a release and you have to have the reels and you have to do the ads and you have to think of what money you're spending on the ad campaign, it gets to me a lot.
mm,
I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do this. But
mm,
I think because I run a marketing agency, it's now become second nature to me. But if you're like just a musician who doesn't happen to have a design and marketing agency, it's a chore. It's like, God, I don't even like my brain is wired to what am I posting today for my clients.
mm.
So I just follow the same method for myself. But for someone that's not second nature too, it's like, why do I have to think about Instagram today? So
Mm.
yeah, I think that it's frustrating for people that are creators that don't want to be content creators.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it also kind of seems like, the way to like make your music reach the most people these days is to create that sort of parasocial relationship and like letting people into facets of your life that you normally wouldn't put out there. So have you seen that as well?
Yeah. Yes. It's like, why do I have to talk about this? This has nothing to do with my music. At most,
Mm,
I think that what artists should be doing is talking about the gear that they use, which is always very interesting to see. Or like, if you're in a metal vocalist, I want to know your method. I want to know that. Or if it's I want to know what vocal exercises you do in the morning. Create that kind of content, but it's like, or even if I feel like I feel like fashion and the music industry go hand in hand because you are a performer at the end of the day. I want to know where your style influence comes from. I'd be interested to know who's dressing you or where you picked your last like outfit from. That's also interesting. But when it's like, here's what I ate for breakfast, I'm just like, that's where you
mm.
draw the line.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
funny, that you mentioned style as well, because one fascinating thing I've noticed is that with some of these bands like Spirit Box,
Yeah.
there are like entire Instagram pages and communities devoted to like the clothes that they are wearing. So I remember like seeing
Mm.
some posts of, what Courtney LaPlante, the vocalist of
Yeah.
Spirit Box, wore at that particular gig. Like she was wearing
Yeah.
like this brand of shoes or this brand
Yeah.
of shirts or
T-shirt.
pants
Yeah.
or whatever. And that was like really fascinating to me because I've
Yeah.
never seen people like even bring that up. about
Yeah.
their favorite artists. So, all of these other avenues, like, do you think
Yeah.
artists could explore that as well, like beyond just like, instruments and,
Yeah.
techniques and all of that, making these sort of tie-ups, perhaps with like independent
Yeah.
brands, you know? So
Yes.
could that be possibly like a more fruitful route for artists?
I definitely think so. I personally support a lot of indie designers, Lohani being one. Amy, she makes most of the outfits that I wear all the
Mm,
time. And before there was Belief, run by Bakita from Hyderabad. I've done collaborations with different brands who have dressed me for shows all the time, and they're all independently owned.
mm,
So I think that artists definitely should like do like even if it's something as simple as a collaborative post showing what you wore, just collaborate with the designer so people see the designer, and that
mm,
helps their business as well. And I know a lot of people will be like, hey, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get those shoes from?
mm.
I know sneaker culture is so huge, and right now especially
Oh,
like there's
yes.
loads of people wearing like such cool sneakers that they find on random like veg, non-veg or whatever, like
Mm,
um different websites. And I think apart from like just the fashion stuff and the techniques or the gear, I'd love to see from artists. I want to know like how long did your sound check take and like what's your like entire rig? Like how long does it take for you to do that? How many times a week are you jamming? What's your jam routine like? Um, a day in the life of like just the band on tour. Stuff like that is very interesting. Carl Rock, the content that he creates, just kind of
mm,
exploring like a music festival or a band or stuff like that, what he's discovered is very interesting. But from the band's perspective, it's like, here was my experience on stage,
mm.
backstage, what I wore, what my morning started like, what we were doing backstage. Like, I'm very interested to know stuff like that, like a vlog of like that sort of thing would be interesting. So, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think that'd be an interesting way to go. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm already seeing like younger bands, trying out stuff like that. So I think we will definitely see something like that in the future.
Or,
Yeah.
mhm.
We could see the second coming of the Korn and Adidas collab also.
Yeah, I know.
Dream gig that you would love to do or even attend.
Oh, I would love to be on Warped Tour one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
attend. I'm attending Aftershock for a few days this year, and I get to see all the bands that I have wanted to see. So I
Hmm.
can take a whole bunch off my bucket list. But like those big stages, like Aftershock, Warped Tour, like just do like the big
Hmm.
stuff. That's the
Yeah.
dream.
Stick New
Yeah.
World.
Sick New World got cancelled though, sadly.
Oh, it did.
Uh,
Oh.
yeah, we got tickets, got refunds because it got cancelled. But
Oh
yeah,
dear. Okay. Okay. All right. And lastly, uh, dream collab you would love to do. Dream artist you would love to collaborate with.
Bad Omens.
Ah, fantastic. Fantastic. I
Yeah.
think I think I think that is the perfect match for
Yeah.
you guys and for those guys as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So, PK, thank you so much for your time and energy. I hope this has been as interesting and fun a conversation for you as it has been for me.
It has. Thank you so much for interviewing me, Saraj. It was lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, everyone, if you haven't, check out PK on all streaming platforms, on YouTube, follow PK on all of their social media, check out Hyperspace, and be in tune for their upcoming releases. And if you like this conversation, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.